That was a truly compelling speech, Pranav. Thank you for sharing your perspective. During our next talk, we will hear about how on her 16th birthday, she set out to bring joy to others, but what she learned from the experience changed her perspective about life in ways she hadn't anticipated. Through her experiences and reflections, she has explored what it truly means to create an impact. Please welcome Siri Katikaneni from grade 11 of TEDx International School.
I thought I was going there to help them, to teach them, to spread happiness. But I realized that they had taught me far more than I could ever imagine. On my 16th birthday, my mom took me to an orphanage, hoping to give back to the community and make a difference on a day special to me. You guessed right, this picture is from that day. As we sponsored their lunch and played games with the kids that afternoon, I saw a world that existed outside the bubble I lived in. They laughed and smiled, their joy unshaken by the weight of a life full of hardships and an unspoken understanding that life had already been hard to them. Although they might not have any more birthdays to look forward to, or didn't know where their next meal was coming from, in that moment, they looked happy. We often have everything one could ask for, yet these children who have so little exemplify so much happiness. Then what is it that we are truly chasing? At first, I wanted to base my TED Talk on this very idea, to question and ask if we are writing a story worth remembering or just turning the pages. Are we so consumed by our daily lives that we are forgetting what truly matters? Last week, I approached my mentor and ran my speech by her, hoping to receive feedback. The look on her face as she watched my demo video changed from pure pride to confusion to what I read as borderline contempt. Not feedback, she asked me something far more important. A question. Are you sure you made an impact in their lives, or did you just end up making yourself feel good? I hesitated because I didn't know. Contemplation over the next couple of days made me realize that these visits to orphanages and government schools last a day. A few hours of singing songs, handing out snacks, taking photos, and then returning to our respective lives. My mother and I had the right intention. However, could a different approach have ensured a better use of the resources we were ready to share? As directed by my mentor and an intention to dig deeper, I then reached out to friends. The trend in practice seemed to be visit a government school, take photos with the kids, and hand over some over-the-top stationery. Is it about making our birthday special by feeding them one meal, or visiting them regularly to check on their well-being and contribute in ways beneficial to them? We share their smiles on social media, but do we carry their stories in our hearts? Another thing that helped me realize is to check if they feel seen, heard, or did they just go back to the same struggles while we move on to the next thing on our to-do lists? Are we giving them our spare kindness, like spare change we drop into a cup and walk away? So then I started to wonder, do we believe that we are happier just because our circumstances are better? The more I thought about it, the more I realized that it's not that simple. When I viewed the world through the lens of a brand new perspective, the way I viewed privilege and struggle completely shifted. As I delved into the matter, researched more, and spoke to those around me, I realized that it is a whole new ballgame. These children who have so little are able to exemplify so much. thing that I realized is that we view children in the US as we tend to want to go to the US for higher education and a lucrative career. And this is the American dream a lot of us aspire to live. However, while a lot of kids in the US have access to free education due to the public schooling system, a lot of them are in underserved communities and they face numerous mental health issues on account of being exposed to hunger and violence. They grow up in neighborhoods where gunshots are more common than laughter, in places where abusive parents hurt them more than the outside world can ever do, and they walk to school not knowing if they'll make it home safely. It is not the grades they're worried about, but surviving the day. These children have the resources, yet something inside them remains broken. But even for these kids, there's something that keeps them going. Maybe it's a dream, maybe it's just the belief that tomorrow will be better. I ask you today, are you hopeful in this moment? Because if you aren't, then that is something to think about. The most beautiful days are the ones that make us wish we could live forever, because we're doing something that matters. I'm positive everyone here sympathizes with those who are struggling, but do we truly empathize? Life gives us many chances, but the real question is, are we willing to give life a chance? Are we willing to wake up every morning optimistically and make an effort to be kinder to the world? Put ourselves in the shoes of others and view the world through varying perspectives. Humor me here. So does happiness come from the worldly possessions we accumulate or from the memories we cherish over time? This talk isn't about my journey or this story of mine. It's about a conversation that needs to continue. It's about a conversation that we need to have with ourselves, but often avoid because it requires us to question everything we've been spending our time on. Another takeaway I've come to value is the blessing of having someone challenge your perspective. My mentor inspired me to reflect more, see things from angles I hadn't considered, and view the world in a new light. These reflections and questions inspired me and sparked an interest in me and understanding and empathy. Surround yourself with people who make you think, grow, and see the world differently. And once you've found them, they're worth holding on to. Changing the world can start small. While we aspire to make significant changes, often we overlook the needs of those closest to us. Often, the greatest impact begins within our own circles. When was the last time someone close to you said, "Thank you, I really needed that"? After this talk, I recommend that you guys go home and overthink and have a conversation with yourselves. And that is the conversation that is worth keeping alive. Thank you.